with this conversation, as we do indeed anticipate the President's address this evening at 7 p.m. No doubt we'll be airing it live for you here on SABC News. While South Africans are then waiting for that announcement that could shake things up in the economy and world travels. This announcement may put a smile on holidaymakers and the tourism industry. Level 1 may be where the country will be headed to when the President speaks tonight. But what are economists expecting? Let us speak to Chief Investment Officer of Weaver Investments, Ngoni Gwatidzo. A very warm welcome to you, Ngoni, and thanks so very much for joining us here on SABC News, sir.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'll start with the same question I asked our political analyst, Professor Dirk Coetzee. What are your expectations tonight when the President takes up to that podium? And on the back of that, what are the changes from level 2 to level 1 that could have a really significant impact on the economy? Of course, we know about tourism traveling outside of our borders, but what more could really have a significant impact on the economy?
Thank you. My expectations, together with many other people as well, is that we are going to see a relaxation on the travel side of things. Possibly even the international travel is going to be lifted. As you are aware that the leisure sector, which you alluded to, has been severely impacted because of the restrictions in terms of movement. And we think that once we get into level 2 and the President lifts this, is going to actually boost this sector, and there's going to be a number of companies which are going to benefit. You've got your Tsoho-san, your transport companies, and so forth, which are going to benefit from a potential lift if it actually happens.
And now, just yesterday I was actually reading about how shops specializing in building and DIY materials had quite a sales boom and did quite well during the harder lockdowns. And I suppose that's based on the fact that, people were perhaps building makeshift offices in their homes or improving their homes, since we were all sort of, stuck there anyway. Will this sector, do you foresee it seeing a sharp decline, given the fact that things will sort of go back to normal and that people will be able to travel more and the focus won't be so much really on the home as it was?
Well, in terms of the construction sector, you also have got to know COVID, that the sector was experiencing a bit of a downturn. Mm-hmm. So yes, there will be some improvement. And again, as I alluded to earlier, given the fact that there will be, if it happens, freer movement of people, it will allow a lot of activities, even in the construction sector. But it's a sector which has been hard hit even before COVID. So if we see some improvement, it might just be slightly in that sector,
Yeah. When it comes to, economic recovery, and I suppose that's the biggest thing that the President would really be concerned or concerning himself about at the moment. When it comes to economic recovery, how soon, and I suppose it's quite an unfair question to ask you because you have to anticipate into the future, I suppose, but how soon can we then sort of expect, positive GDP figures as we're sort of expecting low unemployment numbers, or when will we expect low unemployment numbers? As you know, at this time, people have been retrenched and people have lost jobs, and a lot of the companies have kind of blamed the coronavirus, the pandemic, lockdown, and all of that on having to retrench and so forth. So when can we sort of start to see normality, if I can put it that way?
Well, I think that in terms of seeing some positive improvements, we should probably wait until next year, and I would say probably in the second quarter of next year. That's only when we can see a bit of movement, especially on the employment side of things, because it will take a while before all these benefits will percolate down the line. So I think we have to be a little bit patient, but it will be a very good start if these restrictions are indeed lifted.
All right. Thank you very much for giving us your time. Ngoni Gwatidzo, thank you so much for being here on SABC News with us.